Hello, everybody. My name is Ian. I'm here with my friend Jeff.
How's
And
it
today
going?
we got episode 7. Is this episode 7 or 6?
I think this is episode 7, if I'm not mistaken.
Hold on. I gotta check. Hold on. Podcast. Make sure to subscribe as well on the YouTube channel. No, this is episode 6. Feels like
Okay,
we've already
okay.
done so many more. But
Yeah, it has.
so I just wanted to wish everybody a happy late Thanksgiving and an early happy holidays to the holidays you celebrate. But we got football to talk about. We actually have a lot to talk about, and I just want to start off with how'd you feel about Thanksgiving football, my guy? How'd you feel?
I wish, the Steelers and Ravens could have played, but, the football games that we had, the Texans and the Cowboys were, you know,
Yeah,
two polar opposites. So,
for sure. Both, I mean, good games. For me, I enjoyed both. They were fun. They weren't exactly close, down to the wire games, but they were entertaining, and especially as a Giants fan, it was very entertaining to watch the Cowboys lose on Thanksgiving. With my family, sitting down, watching the Cowboys lose, it's the best day of the year. Now,
I will say,
oh, sorry, you speak.
I was going to say, Antonio Gibson having, 40 points for fantasy was amazing and still ended up losing because of Tyreek Hill.
You want to hear a fun fact?
Hmm.
This is, I believe, I could be wrong, someone can fact check me, but this is the first NFL season where there's been a game played on every day of the week.
I think this is.
Because
We'll
there's
have to
going to be
fact
a
check
Friday
that.
game on Christmas. There has
Hmm.
been a Wednesday game. There's been a Tuesday game. There's a triple Saturday games coming up. Okay?
Yo,
And obviously there's Monday, Sunday, and Thursday. That is incredible.
bro, I'm actually impressed because we're still trying to find ways to play the games.
Absolutely. Here, is your voice okay? Do you need a cup of water? You alright?
Nah, man, I've just been tired. So, this is
Because
what
your voice is
happens.
like tripled in deepness since the last time I've talked to you.
Well, this is what happens actually when I'm
Alright. I'm
tired.
gonna let it slide this time, but we're gonna have to talk
Alright.
about this later. Um, okay. How do we feel about the Ravens and Steelers and how the NFL treated that game compared to the Broncos? Because I have the unpopular opinion where I think they were completely right to keep delaying the Ravens Steelers game because of all the positives that kept coming in daily, and that game could not go on with the amount of positives that were going on and on.
So I can actually see it both ways. Um, where, you have everybody's saying that it's unfair because the Broncos didn't even have a starting quarterback. And I agree with that full heartedly. Like, that's some unfair treatment to some degree, but with all the positives that the Ravens had, it was kind of obvious that they should have delayed it further.
Right. Except I feel like the NFL. I actually understand why they didn't delay it, and it led to good ratings for a Broncos game, and it led to
Yeah.
interest. Well, whether you guys want to admit it or not, it actually gave the more eyes on the Broncos than you could have ever expected,
Yeah, which is,
and it actually made more money for the NFL. Like no one really cared about that matchup, for being completely honest, before we knew
yeah.
about this interesting thing. So now that we've discussed that, we're not going to discuss the game until because we talk about our games chronologically here on this podcast. We like to talk about when the games actually happen in order, but that delay happened. It was originally supposed to be on Thanksgiving, and that's why we're discussing it now. All
Yeah.
right, how do you feel, my friend, about the Chargers and the Bills?
Fire Anthony Lynn.
Wait, I
I
have one
mean,
thing to say real quick. Can we just talk about the Bills and Hail Marys? Because it's bad. It's bad.
they're they have bad prevent defense. It's like the Packers. I mean, absolutely like the Packers. It's just they
Jeff,
can't play prevent defense for life.
it's crazy. And the Bills have to go back to Arizona to play against the 49ers now.
Oh God, that's absolutely terrifying.
We also, actually, no, let's talk about that for a second. Isn't that crazy that the 49ers are now the Arizona 49ers?
Temporarily, you
Well, of
gotta
course,
admit.
obviously.
Um, yeah, no, but the Chargers, Herbert looked pretty well. I don't understand why they did a QB sneak. That just doesn't make
Play
sense.
call didn't make sense. Bad coaching overall. Not a very good team. I mean, they are. They have the talent. They should be better than their record, but
Joey Bosa was going off, so
all comes down to coaching at the end. I mean, it really does when you want to compete in this league. Like, you can win a few games without good coaching, but
yeah,
if you want to compete in this league, you need good coaching.
yeah.
Titans
No,
and the Colts, Jeffrey. How are we feeling?
I love Derrick Henry as a running back, so
I have one of my leagues.
yeah, he's
absolutely. You continue. I'm just pulling something up.
Well, he's an absolute stud, and I just want to say that he has officially entered the late MVP push. He's probably not going to get it, but as a running back, he's been doing phenomenal this season, and he'll have to carry that. Good games.
Right.
So
I'm usually one of the worst fantasy teams in my leagues for some reason, even though I'm actually decently intelligent on the game. But in my two main leagues, I had 179 points and 174 points, and won both games. And I'm 3-8 in both leagues, or about to be 4-8. But still, how funny is that?
I mean, that's insane. Actually, not gonna lie.
Because one of my Jeff, tell me if this team deserves to be 4-8. Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews, who is out this week, so I started Gronk, Allen Robinson, who I actually benched. I also have Antonio Brown. I have Matt Prater as my kicker and Graham Gano. And I picked up New Orleans defense to go against the Broncos this week.
So
tell me if that team deserves to be 4-8.
It deserves to have 6 wins. It deserves to be 6-6.
7 wins.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be 4-8. But sadly, it's funny how it is.
That's actually a really well put together team, and that's what makes it so disappointing.
Just in comparison, in years prior, guys, I've been terrible when it comes to fantasy football.
He's horrific.
However, this year I'm actually doing very well.
And
so
it's going to be the first and last year he's doing really well. Except when we start a dynasty league, it's going to be really awesome seeing how that goes.
Ooh, I'm going to be terrible.
Look, our dynasty league, I'm just going to tank the first 5 years.
Tank for the quarterbacks.
Every draft pick in a few years.
Adam Gase be yes.
Oh my god. All right. Wait, did we talk about the Titans and the Colts? Yeah, we did. We talked about Derrick Henry and how they beasted. Giants and the Bengals. Because I'm going to talk. Don't take this away from me.
Go ahead.
I think the Giants are a mediocre team in the NFL. They're not a bad team. They're not a good team. They are a mediocre football team in the NFL. I will say that. Well, they're a genuine team. Whether you can disagree, you can shake your head, you can laugh. They're not bad. They're genuinely not bad. They're better than their record, 100%. 3-7. They've competed. Other than the first 2 weeks of the season, every single game has been a one-score game in the losses, and every win has been by more than a score, and one time by 10 points. Every game they're in, and even the games that they lost by more than one score, they were in the whole time until the end. The team fights. They play hard. Even with adversity, when Daniel Jones went down, they still fought and they still finished somehow. Oh, and the Daniel Jones injury, it looks like he's only going to miss this week versus Seattle. And honestly, after seeing Seattle against the Eagles on Monday night, I mean, with the Giants having a borderline top 10 defense and you heard that, numbers don't lie, and having having a borderline top 10, top 12 defense and a top 5 corner in James Bradbury to go against DK Metcalf, I think it's possible that they can pull this off. It's going to take the Seahawks defense playing like the Seahawks defense, but I think this Giants team has potential. I mean, their win versus Cincinnati, the score was really showing what it was. The score should have been 19-3 if you really watched that game, with the bogus PI penalty at the end against the Bengals, against us for the Bengals, or the kick return touchdown with the Giants special teams that never makes mistakes until this week. So we can talk about all we want, but this Giants team is heading in the right direction. Even if they don't win their division this year, I think they're definitely going to win the division next year with confidence.
I will say one quick thing is the Giants feel like the 13-3 Packers of last year, where they win games ugly and then lose games pretty dang ugly.
Well,
Like,
Giants don't lose games ugly, Jeff. Our losses aren't
here's the thing, like, you guys make mental errors, like what the Packers did a lot of the times last year. It's not like
4-7 and a 13-3 team right now, Jeff.
I'm just saying the Giants are better than they should. Like, the Giants going into the season were not supposed to be this good.
7-4. I genuinely think that.
They're playing better than I expected. Not gonna lie. And
the best team in their division, I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, that's a fact. Carson Wentz looks like a bum, but
Jeff, they should put you in at quarterback.
Yeah, I'd be throwing dimes. I'll be like Trace McSorley.
We're recording this episode on a Wednesday. I don't have the same enthusiasm I would have if we recorded this on like Monday or Tuesday. So, the Giants are in first place. I'm very happy about it. I've been repping my team with pride. I already do, no matter what place we're in. We could be 0-10. I'd still support them. I know you'd support the Pack if they were 0-10, but
yeah,
how are we feeling about the Panthers and the Vikings? That was a fun one.
How does Kirk Cousins play so bad in the first half and then just go, nope, Panthers lead is gone? He's like Thanos. Jesus.
Well, here's the thing about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins isn't your average quarterback. He's what I like to call a borderline top 12, 13 quarterback. I could argue. Borderline, he's what you like to call mediocre. He's right there in the middle of the pack of actual starting quarterbacks. Because you'd say there's about like 26, 27 like quarterbacks that are like locked into their spots right now. Like those are starting quarterbacks. I would say he's 12 or 13 out of those guys. Which is,
I can see that.
So he's like a middle of the pack kind of quarterback. And the thing is, when you rank people in football compared to like a sport like basketball, top 10 isn't such a crazy thing for the quarterback position. That's just the top 33%. It really comes down to top 5 when we have this discussion.
Yeah, but, which is... Oh,
sorry, you continue.
Well, I was going to say that the reason why the Vikings somehow play better with Dalvin Cook is because, they have to commit to Dalvin Cook. If they don't have to commit to Dalvin Cook, well, Kirk Cousins isn't good. So that's why I think you're right about the mediocre.
Dalvin Cook is fantasy points.
Dalvin Cook is also just insane at running.
Right, but I don't think if you can't run a whole game plan through a running back.
Derrick Henry.
Is Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook the same kind of runner? No.
They're kind of the same.
I think Derrick Henry is better than Dalvin Cook.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
By the way, there's people who will go against me. I think if healthy, the top 3 running backs in this league are CMC, Saquon, and Derrick Henry, no specific order. I will.
Yes.
One of those 3, those are the best 3 running backs in the league. And CMC, 100%. I don't even consider him a running back. He's just an offensive weapon. He does everything. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 30 passing touchdowns next season. The guy is nuts.
Yeah, no, he's by far an offensive juggernaut.
Sorry, you continue.
I was going to say, Derrick Henry is very good at what he does, which is specifically run the ball. He's not very good when it comes to catching. Mm-hmm. Dalvin Cook is a receiving threat. More you get him in a screen pass, he'll run a couple of yards.
Right.
Derrick Henry can't do that, but Derrick Henry can bulldoze the living snot out of cornerbacks and linebackers. So I think he's great.
How do you feel about the Minshew-less Jaguars versus the Browns?
The Browns are overrated, but The Jags always seem to get like 25 points a week
I mean,
and
I
still
think
lose.
another team that's better than their record. I can't believe I'm saying this. The Jags. And let me tell you one more thing.
Yes.
I don't know why they're benching Minshew. I feel bad for the guy. He's not going to get another job as a starter, probably. They just ended him. And he's having another decently efficient season. The stats don't lie on Gardner Minshew. He's actually a good quarterback. Like, you can argue with me. Tell me, Jeff, I'm going to read you these numbers. Tell me if you bench this guy. You listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
What's it called? A 65% completion percentage, 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and, yeah. Do you bench that guy? For Mike Glennon.
Look, I've been a fan of Minshew.
Minshew Mania. I mean, it's bad.
I mean, personally, if I had another team to root for, because I was born in Florida and my dad was in the Navy stationed in Jacksonville, it would probably be the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jeff, you should get a Minshew jersey then.
I love Gardner Minshew. I think he's a good quarterback. He just plays for.
Get a $10 Minshew jersey and just rock that.
That's definitely what I'm getting. But
I'm just right now for you.
I'm just pissed off because like it's not him, it's the situation that he plays in.
Horrible coaching again.
Horrible coaching, and it's just like why do you put him in this situation, and you're gonna ruin his confidence like you did with Mitchell Trubisky. It's not good.
I actually agree 100%. How do we feel about the Cardinals and the Patriots?
Patriots making a late playoff push, which is kind of nerve-wracking. I'm surprised, personally. The Cardinals are, I guess, the record is, well, they're better than they seem, because Kyler can do a lot of the flashy stuff.
The MVP. He's out of the race, I think, at this point.
Well, obviously, I don't think he...
This last game against the Patriots knocked them out of the race, unfortunately.
I don't understand. I just don't understand. How do you... The Patriots are terrible on offense.
They are terrible. Well, actually, you know what I cannot believe about the Patriots team? How many rushing touchdowns to passing touchdowns Cam Newton is getting. It is nuts.
It's impressive, actually.
I don't think we've ever seen this before. Like, we've seen quarterbacks get rushing touchdowns, but they're not getting more than passing touchdowns, ever. Like, they're still passing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think it's funny, actually.
He has 4 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. You're like, what? He's horrible. But you take a look at his rushing stats, right? 2020 with New England, 9 rushing touchdowns, 387 yards. So really, he's actually having a more efficient season, and you just don't see it.
Yeah, no. It's just weird. It's a weird year. What can I say?
I mean, there's literally no fans in stadiums, and if there are fans, there's like 10 of them. Games are getting moved around left and right. Cam Newton is playing for a Bill Belichick coach team. Tom Brady is in Florida. The Giants are winning a division with 4-7. Yeah, the NFL's a little weird this year, you could say.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
How do we feel about Fitz money blowing out the Jets in his former home stadium?
I love Fitzmagic, so, I'm all for it. The Dolphins are really good, and I think Brian Flores is actually overperforming with his team.
Absolutely.
I
think this Dolphins team, if they do sneak into the playoffs, they're probably not going to go very far, if we're being honest with ourselves. But they are a good team.
They might get the 7th seed.
No, I think they'll get in. I just don't know how far they'll get. I just think if he can get them into the playoffs, it'll be a good enough accomplishment, I think, on its own.
I'm just surprised that Miami of all teams, because I think Brian Flores, as much as I've never heard of the dude really all that much, he's a good coach, and he actually makes his. I think so, because of his thumb. This week he was out.
It's starting to bother me the disrespect they're giving to Tua and Fitzpatrick. They're disservicing each of them by what they're doing.
I know it's just weird. Like, pick a quarterback. You're like the Bears.
Do you know what I hate? When people call Ryan Fitzpatrick a career backup. When for like a good 9 year stretch, he was a starter in this league, putting up decent stats and moving around the NFL.
He was like the benchmark of like what's a good QB. Like, he'll be like top of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
Like top 15, but like he's like the Derek Carr of now.
Right.
Or of the past.
Before you continue, I got a game for you. How do you feel about the Falcons? I can't even say it. Absolutely embarrassing Nathan Peterman and the Las Vegas Raiders. See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw what you did there.
It's Derek Carr's team, by the way. But...
Oh, I know. What happened? Like, I am sorry. This is just, the Falcons don't play this like good ever. Like, what did they put in the Falcons team?
I'm gonna be honest. The Falcons are better than the record as well, just like us. Yes, Jeffrey. They play inconsistent football, but we all know when they're on, they're on.
Yeah, when they choke leads, they choke leads.
Oh, they choke leads. Lead choking? Yeah, that's their thing. Now, how do you feel about Kendall Hinton and the Denver Broncos versus Taysom Hill of all, by the way, and the Saints, of all people they could have played with the wide receiver at quarterback? Why is Taysom Hill the one starting at quarterback when they play? Like, of all people it could be like a guy like Tom Brady. It could be a real quarterback who's like all quarterback. Why is it Taysom Hill?
Well, I think he adds an element of the run game. So I think I think Sean Payton thinks that.
No. I don't mean the way you think I'm saying. I just think it's funny of all the players they could have made.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the fun. Like, that's a funny part about it.
A little bit.
Roger, I got you. But yeah, so I do think the Saints are a good football team, well coached.
I agree with you, man. They are a well coached football team. I feel like Kendall Hinton deserves game ball of the week. He already got put back on the practice squad. Good for him. No one's gonna judge him for his stats. Honestly, I like the guy. I wish him well. I hope he gets activated as a receiver one day so we can see what he can really do. But
yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an issue with the NFL making that game happen. I really don't.
Yeah.
49ers
Nothing
Rams.
else. Aaron Donald played pretty well.
Nick Mullins the GOAT. Just saying.
Swear to God. The 49ers, I think, if they didn't have any, like, terrible injuries, like, if their defense could have been what their defense of last year was, oh my Lord. Like, they have, like, they're missing still half their starters.
Aren't going to the Super Bowl and losing hangovers the worst?
I think that's a fact, yeah.
It's bad. You don't want to lose in the Super Bowl or else it's bad news.
Yeah. Yep, that's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, there really is much to talk about. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill and the Kansas City Chiefs versus Gronkowski and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I faced Tyreek Hill. I lost by 50 points.
If you take Tyreek Hill off the team and you put like Antonio Brown in, you win.
I win by 5 if you take out Tyreek Hill. I am mad.
One player can have.
Like, Tyreek Hill, like, I knew he was explosive, and I feel like he's a really good receiver. And he adds that like element of, oh, you have to take two people
Right. I mean, the
away on
guy's
his
nuts.
side.
The guy's literally nuts. I mean, there really isn't that much to talk about. The score looks like it was a close game, but we knew this end result.
It was a blowout.
It was a blowout. How do we feel about your pack blowing out the Chicago Bears on prime time? Let me tell you something. As a fan of a team that has a heated division, kind of like yours, and a historic division,
Yeah.
that is the best feeling in the world. Blowing out your division, your biggest rival. Or actually, Packers pretty even with Bears and Vikings, but it's unlike the Bears who have this only really hate the Packers. But beating the Bears on Sunday Night Football has got to be one of the best feelings ever. And not just beating them. Beating them with the same score that the Texans beat the Lions with.
Yeah. No.
Pretty incredible.
So I will say one thing. If Matt Nagy ran the ball more with David Montgomery, this game could have gone a lot different. That offense had, that first drive was 57 yards with David Montgomery. What?
It's
And
crazy.
I think that the Bears could have actually won this game. But instead, Aaron Rodgers and, the offense just was like, okay, cool. We'll do the exact same thing that we've been doing every single week. And, torch you guys.
Yeah.
So.
I love
It feels so
seeing my
good.
friends happy after their team wins a game. Either way, I was going to see some happy people, no matter how that game ended. Let's talk about the Seahawks and again, a game we knew pretty much how it was going to go for most of the game, at least in the second half, although the score doesn't dictate that. How do we feel about the Eagles losing to the Seahawks and giving the Giants sole possession of first place in the NFC East for at least a week?
The Eagles suck.
I mean, yeah, to put it bluntly, they're bad. Not just objectively bad, they're bad.
Here's the thing. I've watched Brett Coleman. He's a film analyst on, the NFL, and he did an episode about Carson Wentz on Monday, right before the game. He said that all things that are bad with Carson Wentz have combined to form the worst year of his career.
Oh, he's brutally bad. It's just I don't even know how to explain it, how bad he is. It's bad.
He overextends his front leg, which makes him not able to throw those sideline passes correctly because of no hip rotation. He likes to pigeon toe, which is make the toe inwards. And I swear to God, he plays too much hero ball.
Oh yeah, I just don't know. I'm looking at his stats year to year. He's literally having a comparable year to his rookie season almost. It's crazy. What I don't understand is how he goes from having 3 straight years. Listen to these numbers. These respectable stats. 33 touchdowns, 7 picks. 21 touchdowns, 7 picks. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks. Consistently throwing that 7 picks. And then this season, 15 picks. And better yet, 16 touchdowns. Something is wrong with Carson Wentz. And if you need me to go pull up to his house, I don't even know, ask him, Carson, what's wrong, man? Is something going on in your life?
What?
Also, the Eagles should have put in Jalen Hurts at that point, for the fans' sake.
I will say
they shouldn't have picked him if they had no intent on playing the guy. You're ruining Jalen Hurts' possible future things he can do in his career. You limit that, and you limit Carson Wentz's confidence because now he's worried about you bringing him in.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Well, I mean, it is your podcast, so speak.
Oh, yeah. So basically what I think is that at this point, it's a combination of Wentz's bad habits with his mechanics and him playing hero ball, plus Doug Peterson, coach. Like, Doug Peterson coaching makes me want to bleach my eyes.
It's bad.
It's just bad. Like,
honestly, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just so bad. So that's how I'm gonna phase into the game today.
Okay.
How did you enjoy the second Wednesday game in recent history? I can tell you about the first one in a little bit, but first, how do you feel about the one today?
The Steelers
Are
could
the
have
worst
played better.
11-0 team ever, I think.
Yeah, no. I didn't want to upset one of our friends, but
No, Devlin, if you're listening to this, I actually was cheering for the Steelers because I like seeing teams do well.
I like seeing the Steelers do well as well.
Exactly. I have no hate for the Steelers. But if you're going to bring up the Giants when I said the Steelers are the worst 11-0 team ever, you got to get a grip, my guy. I don't play for the Giants, and you definitely do not play for the Steelers. So here's the thing. I still think the Steelers are going to win at the minimum 14 games. I can see them going 16-0.
I can, yeah.
I don't think they'll win the Super Bowl if they have to see the Chiefs.
They'll have to face the Chiefs in, the championship, and
Yeah,
they'll lose that single-handedly.
Tyreek Hill, 422 receiving yards. Book it.
I don't think that much, but I hope I don't see that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Anything is possible.
Mr. Unlimited.
All right, here's the thing. I actually really enjoyed it. At the beginning of the broadcast, it was all the Thanksgiving commercials that they never aired. It was sponsored by Walmart Black Friday sales. And I'm watching this game, and I'm like, oh, my God. Chris Collinsworth. And then Mike Tirico filling in for Al Michaels, sitting there in their winter coats, like completely last minute looking. You know what I'm talking about when you were watching that broadcast?
Yeah.
They looked really out of place, didn't they? They looked like...
Yeah, no, it was funny. I actually kind of liked it.
I did, too. It felt like random and like cool, and I felt like I was watching some history, but it was just so I really enjoyed the game. That's how I have to say it. Want to hear something crazy? 2020 NFL leaders in quarterback rating, minimum 6 attempts. Number 5, Russell Wilson, 110.8. Number 4, Deshaun Watson, 112.5. Number 3, Patty Mahomes, 115.5. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers, 117. Number 1,
Trace McSorley.
McSorley, 121.5 passer rating.
Let's go. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the new future.
Throw it on a dime. I ain't even trying. Okay, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
All right. I think that pretty much concludes all our conversation. We got a big week of football coming up. No Thursday game, which means I don't have to worry about fantasy until Saturday. It's kind of nice.
Absolutely. That is an amazing thing.
A nice little break from fantasy. I don't have to worry about it. Oh, and I also have to drop Will Fuller, unfortunately. But it's okay.
Rip.
Or I'll put it no, he's done. Okay. He's going
to be on the Packers. He's going to be on the Packers next year.
Rodgers needs more weapons. I think this is a good spot to end the podcast. Jeff, it was wonderful talking to you today. I will talk to you soon. As if I'm not going to just talk to you for another 10 minutes after this. But whatever, the point is, I'll talk to you soon. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode 6 of the Big Blue Podcast. And we'll see you next week on hopefully Tuesday, unless the NFL decides to change the schedule again. Very possible.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We never know.
Bye.